welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Sam.
And I'm Matt.
And we have been talking about the elves and the shoemakers, and we just found out that it is elves helping the shoemakers, and so these shoemakers are kind of lucky. They have some kind of secret helpers doing them some work that doing some work for them that they might not necessarily want to do by themselves. And I think we could all kind of relate to that. We all have kind of stuff that we don't really want to do by ourselves.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have some helpers.
I think, I don't have elves exactly, but whenever I see a gecko on the wall in my apartment, I usually just leave it because they'll actually help by eating the insects and bugs that might come into my apartment. So it's the geckos are my little helper elves.
Oh, that's kind of nice. Then you don't have to worry about trying to either squish the bugs or catch the spider and put it outside. You just let the gecko help.
Yeah, let the gecko do it.
Oh, I kind of have the same thing, but I have cats instead. And the cats, unfortunately, they take care of all the bugs, any cockroach, any of those Laya spiders, because I can't even go anywhere near those ones. Those ones are too scary. But sadly, they also catch the lizards. And actually, just the other night, they caught one and they brought it into my room at like midnight, so around 12 in the morning. And they were playing with it, and I could hear them running under the bed and chasing it all around. I woke up everybody, and so it's helpful, but maybe not so helpful for our sleep.
Yeah, well, I guess that helpful for keeping the pests away, but you gotta put up with some good with the bad.
Yeah. Although the shoemaker seems like these elves don't have any negatives.
That's right. It seems like they're just there to help, and I guess we'll find out if they continue to help or what happens next in part 3.
The next morning, the wife talked to the shoemaker. She said,
"The elves made us rich. We must thank them. So I will make clothes, and you will make shoes for them."
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final conclusion of our story. So we have been reading The Elves and the Shoemaker, and this is part 3. So we're about to wrap everything up and see how does this end. Again, we just found out that there are elves that are helping the shoemakers, and these elves are naked and they have made lots of shoes for them and made the shoemakers a lot of money. So now we're going to see how do the shoemakers feel about the elves. So we read, the next morning the wife talked to the shoemaker. She said, "The elves made us rich." So she's like, hey, we need to remember these elves helped us a lot.
And they made them rich. So rich is our next vocabulary word, and it is an adjective. It really means to have a lot of money. So, if you work really hard, you can get rich. You can also maybe win a lot of money and become rich. I know me personally, I wish I was rich. So every 2 months, I check all my receipts to see if I've won some money so that I can finally be rich.
Have you ever won on the Taiwan lottery?
I think I've won the most I've won is 1,000 at a time.
I have never won, not even once. And so every time I'm like, I should get back into this and try again. And then I go for so long and I check so many receipts and I've never even won, not even 200. I think 200 is like the lowest you can get.
The first time I ever tried, a long time ago, was the time when I won the most money. So that really, kept me into it.
Kept you hooked.
Yes.
So we have that word rich, and actually that's also the opposite of the word poor, which we had earlier in our story. So before they were poor, and now they are rich.
That's right. Story continues. We must thank them. So I will make clothes, and you will make shoes for them.
Yes. So again, she's like, hey, they've helped us out a lot. Let's do something nice for them. So she wants to thank them. Thank is a verb to show, that means to show that you are grateful or appreciative of something else, of something that someone does. That's why we say thank you when someone does something for us. In this case, she wants to thank them. She wants to show that she is very thankful or happy or grateful for what they have done by making some clothes and having the husband make some shoes. That way they can say, hey, thank you, elves. You've helped us a ton.
That's right. And as we mentioned, she's going to make them some clothes. So we already learned that the shoemaker makes shoes. Well, this wife is going to make clothes. So clothes are anything you wear, like a t-shirt, a shirt, pants. Anything that really you wear on your body is your clothes, where to cover your body or to, keep you warm.
Yeah, and so that's that kind of broad term, similar to like saying food. So it's like the big category, and then obviously you could go into like tops or pants or shoes or socks or whatever, but that all would fit into clothes. And so these elves seem to have nothing, and they've helped a lot, and so she's like, I really want to say thank you. And so she comes up with this idea to help by giving them clothes and shoes and leaving them out for them, and hopefully they will like them.
That's right. So that's a very nice way to thank someone, is to give them a gift or something like that. A lot of times, we give our parents gifts on like Mother's Day and Father's Day to thank them for what they've done. It's interesting though that he's going to make clothes and shoes. I wonder how they'll know what size to make them.
Oh yeah, is there like a book that says elf size?
Right. Can we just do?
That is a really interesting point, because I don't know how he would ever know that.
I know, you gotta like sneak up behind them and measure the elves.
I guess it's like, oh, that's the story part. It's like, it's a story.
Yeah.
He knows how to make elves shoes, apparently.
I guess so, but part of the story magic. And anyway, I hope we find out next how these clothes work out for those elves, and if they like their clothes and shoes that the shoemaker and his wife make for them.
The shoemaker loved that, and they started to work. Soon everything was ready, and they put the things on the shoemaker's table. Then they hid again. The elves came at midnight. They found the clothes and shoes and were very surprised. They put everything on and danced happily out the door.
Welcome back. We're continuing to talk about part 3 of the shoemaker and the elves, and so far we've learned that these elves are making the shoes at night, and the shoemaker and his wife have decided that because the elves make the shoes, that to thank them, they're going to make clothes and shoes for the elves. So let's see what happens next. The shoemaker loved that, and they started to work.
Okay, so they've worked, probably it's not going to take too long, and so if we keep reading, we see it doesn't take too long. It says, soon everything was ready, and they put the things on the shoemaker's table, then they hid again. So they put out the clothes, they put out the little teeny tiny shoes, and now they're hiding again because they want to see, you give a gift, you want to see their reaction.
So they've kind of become like the elves, and now they're doing the work and leaving it on the table. So they've taken the elves' place. So our next vocabulary word is an adjective, which is ready. So in this case, ready means done or finished or prepared, or just it's time for it to be used. So for example, I remember when I was young, my mom would yell, when I was out playing, she yelled, dinner's ready, meaning that it's ready to be eaten, it's there, you can eat it now, she's finished cooking it. So in this case, the clothes and shoes for the elves are ready.
Yes, and so now they're hiding and they're gonna watch and see again, because they're giving this gift. If it was me too, I'd want to know, are the elves gonna like it? What if they just don't like it? That would be sad.
Do you think the elves hide and watch the shoemaker when he finds the shoes?
Oh, I wonder. That's a really good point. I would guess, well, I don't know. It depends on how tired they are from making the shoes all night. Maybe they just go home and go, I'm too tired, I have to go to sleep. But maybe they do, and maybe they like to see the shoemaker's reaction too. So now they're hiding, and now we have it's back to midnight, so it's back in the middle of the night again, and we read, The elves came at midnight. They found the clothes and shoes and were very surprised.
Oh.
I guess that would be kind of a surprise. You're expecting to see leather, and instead there's little shoes and little clothes and
that's right.
happy.
So just like how the shoemaker was surprised to find the shoes, the elves are just as surprised to find the clothes for them. They put everything on and danced happily out the door.
Oh. Well, okay, goodbye. So they were very happy. Obviously, we have this adverb happily attached to the verb danced. So we know that they really appreciated, they really liked the clothes and the shoes because they started to dance. Dance is a verb and it means to kind of move usually with some kind of joy, but it's usually to music. In this case, there was probably not any music, but they were just so happy that they had to get up and move and dance and shake and just jump around and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, you could go to school to learn how to actually dance. That's something I always wished I had learned how to dance. Instead, I just dance like whatever, and I'm sure it's not good. But it's fun, and so you can see they were so happy that they danced out the door. I wonder if they even made those last pair of shoes. Probably not.
Probably not. I think they took their clothes and shoes and they danced out of there.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So that's it's surprising that they just left. Why do you think they left after they got their clothes and shoes?
Maybe they were hinting to the shoemaker the whole time, saying like, hey, we want shoes, we want shoes, we want shoes. So they kept making shoes for him, hoping that he would make them back for them.
Maybe that's an idea.
That's probably not it. But we do know from the original story that even though these elves danced out happily and they left, the shoemaker and his wife still continued to do well in their business. So it's not just like the elves left and everything fell apart and then it's all not happy anymore. This actually does have a pretty happy ending. The shoemaker and his wife, they still are making good shoes. People are still coming to buy the shoes and everything kind of goes pretty well for them.
Yeah, that's right. So the elves didn't just leave him with nothing because he already had, a successful shoemaking shoe shop, shoe store, a shoemaker shop. So he was already having customers come back and his business continued to do well. And so it's a happy ending.
Yeah. And this is, again, something, we kind of mentioned it before. This is a Brothers Grimm story, but it has a fairly good ending, whereas a lot of their other stories have not the best endings where they have some kind of darker, creepier stuff. So the nice thing is that this one turned out pretty good overall, I would say.
I think so, except we don't know what the elves did after that, but hopefully they had a happy ending too. And it's nice to end with you here on a happy ending, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
The next morning, the wife talked to the shoemaker. She said,
"The elves made us rich. We must thank them. So I will make clothes, and you will make shoes for them."
The shoemaker loved that, and they started to work. Soon everything was ready, and they put the things on the shoemaker's table. Then they hid again. The elves came at midnight. They found the clothes and shoes and were very surprised. They put everything on and danced happily out the door.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看一下这一课的重点单字。第一个 thank 动词，感谢、感激。Tom thanked his teacher for helping him with the homework. Tom 谢谢他的老师帮助他写作业。下一个单字 clothes 名词，衣服，我们习惯用复数。Emily likes fashionable clothes. Emily 喜欢流行服饰。第三个单字 ready 形容词，准备好的。Are you ready to order, sir? 先生，你准备好要点餐了吗？最后一个单字 dance 这是一个动词，跳舞。We danced all night at the party. 我们在派对上跳了一整晚的舞。接着我们来看一下重点文法。第一个 A makes B 加上形容词 A 使得 B 怎么样。Make 在这里是使得的意思， 它的动词三态是 make, made, made。我们来看看下面这个例句 ：I watched a great movie yesterday. It made me very happy. 我昨天看了一部很棒的电影，这部电影让我心情非常好。下一个文法，我们来整理一下 put 的用法。put 它的动词三态是 put, put, put， 三态同形。它与介系词 on 搭配使用，可以表达不同的意思。常见的用法有下面两种。第一种 ，put A on B， 把 A 放到 B 上面。我们来看看这个例句 ：The floor is dirty. Don't put your bag on it. 地板很脏，不要把包包放在地上。第二种用法 ，put on 表示穿上的意思，这是一个可以分开的动词片语。它的相对说法就是 take off， 脱下。Put on your coat if you feel cold。如果你觉得冷，就把外套穿上。另外一个例句 ，Don't forget to take off your shoes before you go into Jenny's house。进入 Jenny 家之前，别忘了脱鞋。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，我们下一课再见喽，拜拜。
Yuli Township is located in the East Rift Valley of Hualien. There are many different places to visit in Yuli. The Taiwan Black Bear Education Center is a great place to learn about Taiwan's native bears. Pushi Gallery shows local artwork such as fabric dyeing and stone art. Yuli noodles are popular with both locals and visitors. Be sure to go to Guangsheng Tang to buy its ryokan. With so many different places to visit, Yuli Township is a must-stop for visitors in Hualien.
See you next time!